this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This video is in two bits. First bit, what a fuss to get a flipping picture. Oh. And what I'm doing now is I'm waiting for the sun to come out from behind a cloud. This picture with the DSLR has to be taken at this time of day because it's the only time of day where the sun is there. Once the sun moves round to there, it's behind the black cloth and the light's gone. And I can't find any sensible way of doing it the other way round. But what I'm doing now is edging my bets, because the video camera, when I get this onto my software, I can actually take snapshots and the video camera adjusts for the lower light. So in theory my photo could end up being a still from this video. Nonetheless, I will still use the DSLR if the sun comes out. I'm going to take a picture with the DSLR in this light because, again, with some software trickery, we might be able to brighten it up a bit and get it to look like there is light. But at the moment the light is so diffused it doesn't give a direction, so you can't tell which direction the light's coming from. Anyway, that's part one, and I can't film part two till I've put this lot away. So I'll be back out with the camera later today. But I'm determined to get a decent shot of that showing the number of blooms. And then our good friend Lynn Smith has come up with an idea. Well, it's an idea that I already had but hadn't got round to asking if it was okay. She also has a dendrobium in the competition that is a long cane dendrobium with blooms over most of the length of the canes. So by taking a picture of the plant, you can't really see the blooms very well. So she's done a close-up and imposed it over the top. So technically that's two photos, but she's only giving me one picture. So I actually sent an email off to the chairman and said, what do you think about this? And basically he said, yeah, in these strange times, I'm really not fussed. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I already have a nice sharp close-up of these blooms taking in just the right light, and I'll impose that somewhere on the shot. Looking at the shape of this picture, there's going to be a hole in the bottom right hand corner, and what I'd like to do is actually put the close-up in that area, and what I'll do is I'll edit the boundary and turn it into a soft circle. So it'll have a circular shape with a soft edge to it. I think that might look quite nice. Is it cheating? Do I care? The chairman says it's okay, so so that's what's going to happen. But anyway, I'll be back to finish this video off later in the day when I can get all this flipping, all these clothes pegs and everything out of the way. And the sun's coming out. Right, DSLR time. So this is the still that I took from the video. So this is my sort of start point. This then goes into my photo editor, and this is what I ended up with the close-up in a nice oval. That took some doing, and a sort of brightened up image from the video camera with the title, obviously. Okay, back to the original idea of the video today before I got interrupted. I'm going round looking at buds. So this is not stuff that's in bloom that's got more buds, it's stuff that's in bud. In other words, not in bloom at the moment, as opposed to the everything in bloom that we do on the 8th. This is a buds thing. So these are things to come in the near future that are not in bloom now. This is going to be fun because there's not a lot. Right. Out of that lot, nothing. So nothing in there. The Restrepias come and go. I don't sort of count those. They're virtually perpetually in bud in some shape or form, so we won't bother with those. Then up here, not a light. Absolutely nothing on this shelf, and that includes the Vandas and the Renantheras. And before we get round to that area, I have no Cattleya types in bud. Nothing. So those that have gone, and there's nothing new coming yet. Don't forget they've all had a bit of a drastic upheaval with you know, repotting not necessarily at the right time, but all that sort of stuff. So that's the position we are there. And then down through this lot we've got one, and that is the challenge plant, the Pabstia. So we've got buds on there, 2. Now when this bloomed last time it had 2 buds on the spike. It seems as though that's what it likes to do. So we have buds on there. That's buds number 1. I suppose we ought to keep count of them, didn't we? Now up there's nothing. Oh, he says there's nothing. No, not much there isn't. Up here is the Dendrobium Friedrichianum Hanna, and you can see over towards the glass there's a load of buds over there. They're in many places, up high, over on the far side. The first cluster that will be open will be on this cane here. They're still a way off because they're reasonable sized blooms. So that's 2. And then down here amongst this lot we have the Odontoglossum naeviem. That's got a couple of spikes on that we noticed recently. So coming on, showing their pattern now, so they won't be too long. They're not huge blooms. There's another spike up in there, so that's another one. Oh, blimey, getting down there's okay, it's getting up again. Then up amongst this lot up here, despite the number and the size of the plants, there's one with a spike on at the moment. There's going to be more in the not too distant future. A lot of these larger Oncidium types are maturing growths, you know, they're going to bloom soon, but not yet. So we've got this one to come. That's the Irish Mist, or whatever it's called. It seems to go by several names. Right, coming round here, nothing. Nothing at all. Up there is Cattleyas, nothing. The Coelogenes not got blooms on. Now, one of Derek's plants has a spike. I'm not sure I should let it, but we'll get in there and have a look. But the camera works atrocious today, but I've actually got a lot on my plate today because the virtual competition has come to an end and I've got to get all the files sorted out today. But as you can see there is a little Oncidium praestans, and it's got a little spike on. It's not a strong plant, so what I will probably do is let the buds open so that we get a look, because I don't know what that's going to look like, and then take them off so that it doesn't have to maintain them, just produce them. And then one of these up here has got buds. I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yes. So this is the the radiata, and that's been in bloom some time. Another one of Derek's, and it's been in bloom a long time, but the blooms have just gone over, and I've just noticed that we've got a spike coming here and another one coming here. Now this is probably the most fragrant orchid that I've got. So that's going to come back, and this time we get the full length of time that the blooms will be open, because it was in bloom when I got it from Derek, so we just had to put up with what was left, if you know what I mean. So that's that one. Right, coming round here, I'm filming this, I know it's opened, but I'm just so pleased. This is the little Miltoniopsis Venus. Now these are nice fresh blooms this time, as opposed to ones that were already open. These colours are absolutely gorgeous, and it's a lovely shape. It's got a lot going for it. I suppose we better do a close-up, seeing as I'm supposed to be doing buds really, not blooms. I should be able to get in reasonable close. The light's not too bad today. That is a very, very pretty Miltoniopsis. Now, I know a lot of the hybrids are, you know, flashy loud colours and huge big water splash patterns and everything, and this is subtly delicate, but you can see from the patterning on the lip, you can see where some of the hybrids get their patterning from. Yeah, and it's not from this, because this is actually a primary cross. This is two species crossed together, which is Vexillaria and Phalaenopsis, and I believe the patterning comes from the Phalaenopsis, and I have both of those, so we will find out one day when they decide to bloom. One day. It's alright, there's a petal got hooked up there. I'm just trying to unhook it so that it'll open. There we go. Right, so as I say, that's just an exception. I know I'm supposed to be doing buds, but I had to show that. And while we're on the Miltoniopsis, the hybrid down here has got a spike as well. So we'll have some blooms on there soon. There's none of the others are looking as though they're going to bloom yet. So that's that lot. Nothing up here. I think that's it, actually. Oh, he says, you know, I can't see that. You know, that's just so big, I can't see it. We've obviously got the brassica that's going to be opening. That's a long way from opening. These blooms are huge. The blooms are about 10 inches across. The buds are approximately half of that. Because if you think of it, the bloom, when the bloom opens, you've got the lip, which is quite small relative to the size of the bloom, and then you've got 2 petals and 3 sepals. Yeah? So if you think about it, one of those sepals sticks bolt upright and the other 2 hang down. So the sepals are basically the size of the plant, because one goes up, the other 2 go down. So when you're measuring from top to bottom, you're measuring across the sepals with the bit in the middle. So if these blooms are going to be around 10 inches, these buds have got a bit of growing to do yet. So we'll just let them get on with it. They'll get on with it quietly. There's all sorts of stuff that's going to be in bud soon. You know, as I say, we've got large oncidium types maturing, you know, growths all over the place. So we're going to get some. The one thing we're not going to get for a while is any cattleyas. Because a lot of them are going to have to recover from their repot and produce another new growth before they think about any buds. I don't think there's any new growths maturing that are going to bloom at the moment, but we shall wait and see. Oh, poor little thing up here in the gods got completely forgotten. We've got a Tolumnia spike. Yay! So this is one of the newer ones that came from with the Schwerter order. This is Tolumnia mochadot, and it looks quite good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7, maybe 8 blooms on there, and it's already got a branch. That will probably have 2, maybe 3 on it once it expands. So yeah, we got a Tolumnia. I forgot that one. It's because it lives up in the roof, bright light. Get up there. There we go. Nothing else over here. I mean, there could be some other Tolumnias will spike in the not too distant future. There's maturing growths around, but not yet. So a few spikes have been cut off over the past weeks on plants that are just too weak. So, you know, there are some gone missing. Anyway, so that's the other half of the video. The first half was me messing around with Hercoglossum, and the last half was the original plan. I picked the camera up and came out here, and I thought, actually that light's just in the right place to get the picture that I want to go into the competition, which I've now done. Anyway, so that's it for today. Tomorrow's video will be part 2 of the repotting thing, because I need to clear the decks. You know, there's lots of files and bits and bobs lying around from that, and I start getting cluttered, you know, and I'm liable to get in a muddle. Anyway, thanks for dropping by, and see you next time. This is a purple thing going on at the moment here, because with Hercoglossum, Nestor, although that's fading fast now, and the Comet King up here, It's like a purple thing going on with a splash of yellow and orange in the distance. So, and the Lindley is dropping blooms all over the floor, so that's going to be gone soon. Once they start to go, they'll go from the order they opened in. So that's this one, which has already dropped a lot. This one will be, there'll be some of these on the floor tomorrow, and then this one will hang in there just that little bit longer, because this was the last one to open. So then they'll be gone for another year. So a lot of that goes on. Now, this is not cheating, but there is some more buds, but I'm not sure I can get at the plant. Yes, I can, because I moved it. Up here, we have Jenkinsii that's already done its annual blooming. Except that one. It's never done that before. After all the original blooms had dropped off, we got a little spike coming out, so we're going to have a few more Jenkinsii blooms. And that'll be a nice little splash of yellow again. This is chucking new growths out all over the place now, so that are good. That's what we like to see. The new leaves have a lovely bronzy colour on them when they first open, so they stick out like a sore thumb. And it's going to be off the mount this year as well. It's going to be off the edges, and possibly off the top as well, and off the bottom. I haven't long redone that one. Blinking do it again now. Well, not now, but at some point it'll have to be redone. Right, get back up there in the light. Right, there we go. That's that one for today then, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. See if I can get a close-up on this while they're in the light. Because this is when it works best. Trouble is, camera's probably going to alter it. Anyway, to me, these are special. They just are. Right. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.